Hey everyone, Noodle here. I hope you're all enjoying the fishing update. But even if you're not, I've got the coolest little resource collector to review for you that will help you avoid fishing altogether and still let you finish those fishing challenges and collect the rewards. If you thought the cannery was the greatest new camp item out there, I am here to challenge that theory and to offer the fish trap as my top pick instead. The fish trap is part of an entire bundle. Of course, I bought the whole thing and reviewed it live on the show, but let's take a closer look at it right now and review every single item before diving deep into the fish trap and why you need it, regardless of how you feel about fishing. The bundle is called the Fish Trap Bundle, and it's going to be up for a few weeks for 1,800 atoms. The first item that I tested in this bundle is the floating dock floor. Now, my camp is already built on a pond, and it includes a pre-existing dock, as well as some of the docks that I installed myself from previous bundles. Let's see how the floating dock behaves. First of all, let's pop it up in the sky and see what it looks like underneath there. It basically looks like a single floor tile with some barrel drums attached to it so that it floats. Pretty realistic. Let's put it to the ultimate test and see if it actually floats. And it does, and beautifully so. In fact, it has 3 floating positions. You can sink it all the way in the water so that only the wooden surface is revealed, and we can go underwater and see what that looks like. Or you can lift it up halfway out, which I find to be very attractive. You know, we have those barrels underneath there. Might as well show them off. Or you can even float it entirely with the barrels on the surface of the water, which I think is a little weird. It wouldn't actually work that way, but hey, whatever floats your dock. Now, the biggest question that I had from you guys on the live stream is if you can snap these together. And no, you cannot. These are individual floating docks. So even though they look like floor tiles, they don't behave as floor tiles. And that also means that you can't just snap walls to them. So no, unfortunately, you cannot build floating houses with these with our traditional building methods. Absolutely, you can arrange these next to each other without snapping, no problem. And of course, the very talented builders and mergers out there will figure out how to attach walls to these things. Of course, we have other options such as defenses and fireplace walls and dividers and furniture that we can use to actually build this into a little cabin. But honestly, I think it's unnecessary. I think it's perfect just the way it is for its intended purpose, the dock. Next up on the menu, we have the stash box and the cryo freezer. Now, the tackle stash box and the cryo freezer are each available individually for 500 atoms. Are they really worth it? They are indeed cute, and in the illustration we can see a beautiful render of the interior of each of these items. One of them is a bait box and another is a fish box. Now, a cryo freezer is an amazing and important item to have. I am super excited about getting a freezer in this tiny compact form. The freezer that I have right now takes up half of my kitchen. It's awful. The only thing that I'm a little bit sad about with both of these items is that I don't actually ever get to enjoy the beautifully rendered interior of them. When I click to interact with either of these, the overlaying screen is diffused, making the image very blurry. So as a user, you never get to see the insides of these boxes. So to me, that was a little bit sad. Still, I think they are absolutely amazing, though not worth it as individual purchases, only in a bundle. Now, the next thing that I am unreasonably excited about in this bundle is the collection of floating trash piles. There are 3 versions of the trash pile, and I am not kidding when I say I'm unreasonably excited. Like, this may be my absolute favorite camp item to date. You all know how much I value the immersive look of the camp and what a huge fan I am of using plants as decorations in my camps. Well, these trash piles are as immersive as it can get, especially on a waterfront property. Now, my property already came with some floating trash, but unfortunately, I can't step on that trash. So in this area right here between my main dock and my loadout changer, I always fall into the water and I've never been able to place anything else there. It's the perfect item for this one perfect spot in my camp, and I'm just keeping my fingers crossed that I can walk on these trash piles. And yes, I can. Not on every single one of them. The trash around the barrel seems to be transparent, like you can just float through it. But this trash pile with the tree, you can stand on it. It's solid. So for me, it was an absolute lifesaver. And I was also pleased to see that you can merge these trash piles a little bit with the docks and with the basic floor tiles. It's just so freaking cool and immersive. It's basically like catwalks on water that blend with the environment perfectly. And don't forget the tiny floating lily pads. Useful, they are not, but they do be adorable. Again, plants make everything look cooler. They make everything look immersive. You can make little designs out of it. You can make an entire drawing out of them on the surface of your water, or you can just place them here and there, either as markers or tiny decorations. Simply cute and adorable. And at last, the star of the show, our fish trap. The fish trap itself is available as a standalone purchase for 700 atoms, which is super steep. 700 atoms is a standard price for a basic prefab. An entire house you can buy for 700 atoms. But after this review, you may consider buying it even at 700 atoms because it will save you so much time and trouble. Plus, you can get it in a bundle. The fish trap is a resource collector. That means you can only place one of them in your camp, unfortunately. And of course, as with every other resource collector, we cannot place them in shelters, which is not a big deal at all since we can't fish in our shelters anyway. Yes, I tried. And this thing is not much to look at. In fact, that's the idea. It's a fish trap. It's meant to be hidden. It's meant to be overlooked. And it's meant to just blend in with the environment. This is not a conversation starter. This is a hidden, useful item in your camp. And what it does is it collects fish. Surprise, surprise. And it collects a lot of fish and without any effort on your part at all. When I came back at the end of the day to check on my fish trap, I found 2 brook silversides, 2 chain pickerels, 5 red bellies, a rich trout, 3 sunscreams, and 2 yellow bullheads. Now, all of these fish fall under the generic category. That's all you're ever going to get out of this fish trap is generic fish. And that's perfectly fine because think about what it does. Fishing takes time. Fishing takes skill and patience and all of those things that you may just not have to spare for a particular daily or something. You may have a daily to sell 5 grilled fish to an NPC vendor, and that's actually a really expensive errand because to make grilled fish, you have to cook up a ton of fish bits, and every single fish bit that you cook up is a fish that you have to catch. Not every cast catches a fish. See what I mean? Fishing is a time hog. This resource collector will save you so much time. With these fish, I can go straight to my cooking station, cook up the fish bits, and with the fish bits, either grill up grilled fish, which I can consume or sell. This can be for my personal use or to complete a daily or a weekly challenge. Or I can go over to Linda Lee, the giant crab, and feed her the fish bits, thus increasing my chances of collecting legendaries. It's just great and no work required on your part. This will save you time and it can help you avoid fishing altogether. Now, coming back to the idea of it only giving basic fish may make this item a little bit less interesting for those of you who are actually passionate about fish and collecting the rare fish. But if that's you, you're out there upgrading your rod and fishing in different weather conditions anyway to actually earn those special collectible fish. This resource collector will still help you save time on making those fish bits, giving you more time to do what you enjoy and to hunt for the special trophies. And for those of you who hate fishing, well, with this resource collector, you don't even have to ever fish at all. And if you hate fishing, you probably don't care about the rare collectible specimens. So, while the cannery is a great tool for preserving fish and it looks amazing in your camp, it still leaves you with the tedium of having to fish. And even if you enjoy it, you may not always have the time to do so. Having fish just appear in your camp is priceless with this new update. For the sake of science, I decided to switch out my weather station to the rad storm weather station and see if it affects my catches at all. And I am sad to report that after waiting a little bit, all I got were generic fish yet again. So the weather stations will not help you catch anything special in this trap. But that's okay, I didn't actually expect to. So there you have it, boys and girls, the most underrated resource collector out there. Make sure to grab it in the Atomic Shop while it lasts. Fishing is here to stay, my friends, and it's already deeply integrated into the game. You can't ignore it the way that you've been ignoring caravans. You can't even complete your dailies these days without fishing. So get this thing and save yourself a whole lot of time and trouble. You'll thank me later. Noodle Pants, one half of Gamer Aviator. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, let the fish come to you.
In the heart of West Virginia, where the shadows creep and sway, lies a land of rusted dreams, where the brave dare not stray. Appalachia, oh, it's a treacherous ride, with dangers untold and nowhere to hide.